Привет, comrades. TF.com here. I got some interesting news regarding my work. Let me back up a little bit here. No, it's too quiet. But basically, I was supposed to close with someone yesterday. She was the one who replaced my position as key holder. Well, no call, no show. Boss was calling her for hours. He was calling her kids, her husband. She was trying to figure out what was wrong with her. He called all the hospitals in town. I mean, he went full out to try to find her, which is more than most people would do. Because he knew her daughter was sick and had to have surgery. But he didn't know what day it would be on, because she didn't really know. And even if it happened to be that day, she should still call and say something going on. But he tried to contact her. She's supposed to be there last night at 6. No word from her at all. Today came around and she was supposed to close today as well. No word. So boss was at a kind of an impasse here, Basically, he always gets Sundays off because my boss is very religious and it's his time to spend with his family and everything like that. Whatever. No issues there. He always makes sure he has Sunday off. And the assistant manager, on Sundays, he will not open or close, but he'll work in the middle because he has morning church and night church. Okay. Sure. 2 churches, that's kind of crazy. But whatever. And then the one under him, the one that was extremely racist that I reported, and I told you guys about that situation. She is currently off the entire week to prepare her brother's funeral. So, a pretty big deal. So she's not going to be coming in, obviously. So the boss was, at a bit of an impasse here. What every other store would do is call a key holder to come over. There's a store near my house that called me over all the time to close for them because they didn't have anyone there. That happens, whatever. If you need help, you need help, but he didn't do that. In a way, I'm kind of glad he didn't. He said that he's going to make me a temporary key holder until we figure out what's going on. With all the, what's going on with her, everything else like that. And I say at most, he's probably going to give her about a week. She's supposed to work every single day this week, so I think that'd be enough time to say that she's not showing up, no idea what's happening with that. He's literally tried everything. He basically called all the hospitals. He called all of her friends. He contacted her on Facebook. He texted her. He left messages on her home phone. He was worried about her, because she's not the type of person who just doesn't show up. She's the type of person who calls when she's 1 minute late, So he was very, I'll admit, I'm a bit worried about that. But I'm also kind of glad I got my position back. So, it's a little iffy thing there. I hope she just found a job somewhere else. But whatever the case is, I became temporary key holder. And possibly permanent key holder. Since he probably doesn't feel like he wants to train anyone again. Which would be awesome. Not that I'd be here very long, because, hopefully I have a job right out of college, so I wouldn't need Dollar General, which, I'm going to stay with them, of course, until I have a job, a permanent career, but if I already have one lined up or something, then I don't really, you know, need their job. So I'm sure he's at a bit of a situation here, you know, because once I graduate in a few months, he's going to need another key holder. I mean, it's, you know, a difficult thing, but I can't help the fact that I'm graduating. So, you know, he's basically, you know, upgraded me everything else back to my old position for at least the week. He says my hours, well, he told me my hours are going to go up dramatically, in order to, you know, I'd be taking a lot of her shifts. But then he called, you know, today to, you know, make sure the schedule's all good and everything like that, and he basically said the only thing that changed is I need to come in a little earlier tomorrow. And maybe that means he just hasn't gotten to the rest of the week yet, and he was trying to figure things out one day at a time, which I get. But I don't know, maybe I'm not. Maybe he means next week I'll get a lot more hours or something, because, you know, this week's already kind of scheduled. But whatever. Today I worked a 12-hour shift. It was torture because, you know, I had to help out. Originally it was supposed to be Carlton, which I told you about, and this girl named Brittany. They were supposed to be working during the day. And, you know, you need 2 people to close at night. And, okay. You need 2 people to close at night. And originally it was going to be me and the no-show girl, which is her name is Tanya. So we were going to be the ones closing. They were going to be during the day. You know, since safety reasons, we have to have 2 people at night, and Carlton at church. You know, I was called in early, very, very early, so I could make sure, you know, he had a lunch break and stuff, because, you know, originally Brittany would have given him his lunch break, but Brittany's hours changed so that she would close with me. So, you know, it was just, you know, what they had to do. You know, we don't have a lot of workers, honestly, right now. But they don't give us enough hours to give to a lot of workers, so that's another issue. But, so basically, I'm key holder again, more or less, at least temporarily. And I'm not sure how long that will last for, but whatever. Oh yeah, about today though, it was, basically, I, you know, had a rare bout last night of productivity, which for me, it's really hard to get me to do something, you know, it's a big struggle, and you know, it's really hard to focus during it and everything else, so maybe the Adderall helped, but basically what would have taken 6 hours instead takes like 20, you know. That's just how it is. But I really don't want to go home right now. I'm gonna do another circle around the block. Because I really still want to make my video, and my roommates are looking at me weird if my car's just parked out front, but I'm not, you know, going inside. Bye bye, roommates. Well, you know, so I had a robot approach, and I my productivity, and I decided that I was going to work on one of the, I was going to work on one of my midterm essays. So basically I chose one that was very difficult on purpose, because I was like, you know, this will be the hardest one to stay motivated for at any time. And I was right about that. But when I say the hardest, it's because the teacher was so open-ended about it. He basically said, write a paper about the philosophy of this guy, whether you agree or disagree, and make it good. That's like the only guidelines he gave, other than the fact of a page count minimum, you know, which was a very weird number. It was 3.75 pages. You know, usually they say 3.5 pages or something like that. So it was a little, But, and it's also pretty hard because a lot of the book was not in English. A lot of the assignment. Yeah, that's what got you. Basically, your three choices were one that is almost completely Latin, one that is almost completely German, and one that is almost completely Japanese. Now, while I know bits and pieces of all those languages, I wouldn't say it's enough to, you know, do a project on. So it was a little, you know, especially when you're translating stuff that has such a deep meaning to it, you know? Like, it's not like the cat ran, it's things that are difficult to understand even in English, you know? So it's, you know, it was pretty difficult. I'm still a little iffy about if I even wrote about his philosophy correct. It's how I interpreted it. That's how I, you know, even when I got the English translation, I was pretty sure that was correct. I was still a little iffy about if, you know, my summary of that was actually correct, you know. Philosophy is such a difficult topic. I mean, but it also is pretty opinionated, so perhaps there is no real wrong answer. Maybe that's why he said just make it good. I don't know. You know, I don't know. But whatever, you know. Whatever. You know, I wrote my essay and I really liked the guy that I chose to write it on. It was Friedrich Nietzsche, which I love that name. And I found it kind of interesting that Microsoft Word didn't say his name was misspelled. I mean, usually, if it's not like a common name, it says it's misspelled. Like, it tells me my last name is misspelled all the time. And I mean, it's a common last name, but you know, they usually spell it M-A-C and I do M-C-K. But, his name wasn't misspelled, so that was a little interesting. I don't know where I'm going, I'm just driving so I can talk. That works. But you know, I had a lot of fun writing about him, and it was great. But what I was getting at is that before I knew it, it was 8 a.m. and I still wasn't tired at all. I kind of had to like force myself to go to sleep. I also didn't eat. I wasn't hungry, which is never very good. But you know, whatever. I used to not eat at all, so the fact that I'm at least making myself eat, you know, at least twice a day is pretty good for me. So, you know, whatever. So, basically, yeah, I did this project and stuff, and I stayed up till 8 a.m. I figured I'm not supposed to be in work until 6. It's, you know, 6 at night. I can sleep in, it's fine. Well, I get a call at, like 8:30. And, you know, the call basically is from my boss. And he says, I still have not heard from Tanya. Would you be willing to come in at 3 so that you can, you know, cover her shift, because she was supposed to originally come in at 3. And, you know, that way, you know, Carlton could go home at 3:15. And I was like, okay, sure, more hours, whatever, cool, great. Well then, I was like, change my alarm setting and try to go back to sleep. At 10:30 or so, I got another call saying, I just realized, from my boss saying, he just realized that Carlton would not be getting a break. And, of course, law and just common decency, you have to give him a break for working so many hours. So he says, can you come in at 12? That way he has time to have a break and everything. And then when he gets back, he can set you up as a key holder, change all the codes and stuff. So, yeah, I was like, sure. I was a little iffy, because it was a little iffy in the morning because, first of all, I didn't have much sleep. But also, I always set my alarm 2 hours before I have to be at work, or anywhere, I spend 30 minutes, just kind of staring at the ceiling, readjusting myself to the world, the waking world. And then I spend 30 minutes getting ready and brushing my teeth, getting dressed and everything. And then 30 minutes eating, so that's an hour 30. And then I'll spend 30 minutes getting to work. And people laugh at the fact that my schedule's like so on the point, But, it's just how I've always been. It's probably the fact that I'm autistic, that makes me like that. But it has to be the perfect schedule, And I've gotten a lot better with that. Before, I would be a disaster zone. I could not come in 10 minutes early, even. Like, it would just throw me completely off. So I was like, okay, get out of it, because I hadn't really sat around and woken up yet. Getting ready and everything else. And basically trying to mentally prepare. So it was very chaotic today. My only thing now, the only thing that really affected me right now is that I'm hungry. It was so weird getting a break. I almost forgot how to, clock out for a break, because my shifts have been so short, It was also, I kind of had to, probably was a little bit slow with closing tonight, because I just didn't, I had to kind of remember the steps that I always did. I still got out, we still got out pretty good. We got out at 10:20, and, we're supposed to be out anytime, we're supposed to be out around 10:15, so, it wasn't that much later. It's just little things, like I forgot to set the safe, 10 minutes before close, things like that. But, we still got it out, no problems, whatever. The store looks great. It's very well recovered. We had 0 shipment today. It was, I guess everyone was ahead of schedule, because our shipment doesn't come in until Tuesday. So we usually are stocking stuff, and then Monday is just kind of a recovery day. Well, there was nothing left to stock, so today was also a recovery day, so tomorrow will be a recovery day. There is a lot of Christmas stuff. I started putting out some of that, but other than that, it wasn't very much going on. There wasn't a lot of customers. We had maybe like 2 returns the entire day. There was no checks in the ending deposit or anything. Like, it was a very calm day, which was the computer didn't break, which, wow, computer always breaks. I don't think I've ever had a day when the computer didn't break, but it didn't. And I felt like I was jinxing that. I was like, no, I just said that it's gonna happen now, but it still didn't happen. And honestly, I kept thinking that, maybe Brittany, I was closing with, didn't know how to ask for help, because she wasn't calling me up, and I'm used to the fact that key holders basically called up every 2 seconds to change the price on this, void this item, void this transaction, fix this computer, everything. Like, it's a lot of stuff the key holder does, And I was called up maybe like twice, and the whole night, and I was kind of like, so I kept going up, like, are you okay up here? You okay? And it wasn't a big line or anything, like, she didn't need anything, and honestly, she looked kind of bored, because there wasn't much to do, and, that's just what happens. Well, we got a lot of stuff done, and I think it's pretty productive, but at the same time, I feel like we didn't do anything, because there really wasn't anything to do, so it's a little, It just seems weird to me because, we didn't really. Maybe I feel like I didn't do much because of the Adderall. Because I usually feel like insanely overworked when I just do a normal person's amount of work. So perhaps I recovered the entire store, and probably about 75% of it was me recovering. So maybe I just didn't feel stressed because, I'm medicated now. I did get a pretty bad headache in the middle of the shift, and that was because of my own stupid mistake. I didn't think. I think it's because I was so out of it in the morning. They probably, even if I was with it, I would have forgot. Adderall wears out of your system in 4 to 6 hours. And so you retake it. Otherwise, there's a crash. And it's... The longer you've taken Adderall, the less the crash is. Like, my first time, I was, like, dead to the world. Next time, I was just really, really hungry. And then, this time was just a really bad headache. And, I was like, why am my head hurting? And then I realized, my pills wore off about 2 hours ago. So I was like, well, crap. And I couldn't, it was my lunch break, but I couldn't leave the store in case, Brittany did need me, because, managers be there for key turns or whatever else. So it was a little, I didn't want, to be too far. I was like, hey, sweet, sweet roommate, would you mind bringing me half a pill, or you can just bring me the whole bottle and a pill, my pill cutter. Because, I just take half a pill right now, to get myself adjusted to it. And honestly, I may not need much more than that. It's working pretty well. But maybe your body builds intolerance, I don't know. But, so I just, I was like, please, yeah. And she brought me the bottle of thing. But, I was trying to bribe her. I was like, I'll buy you a soda, I'll buy you candy. And I was like, there's a hot lesbian at the checkout, you can talk to her. Brittany, she may not be a lesbian. She may be bi or pan or whatever. All I know is that she has a wife. So, I don't know. I just knew that my roommate likes girls, so I was going to try to be like, hey, try to, do anything to get her to come over. And it was just kind of funny. And she says, well, my other roommate needed cigarettes. And I was like, well, I'll buy them. There. I'll buy them if you bring it. So she brought it over, and then she told me that she was going to come anyway to buy the cigarettes herself. So honestly, I probably didn't even need to buy them, because, she would have came anyway, and it wouldn't have been any trouble for her to just grab my pills. So, I kind of got cheated out, but whatever. It was all fun games. I'm just circling around Tyler. I'm sure people are probably like, what is going on? Nah, no one's even awake. But, so, I got my pills, everything worked out, and it was a pretty good day, and it's so rare for me to have a good day at work. It's just weird. I had a lot of customers tell me that they missed me, like, where have you been, And I didn't want to be like, well, the dick demoted me, so I didn't have any hours to meet with you guys. But, you know. But, whatever the reasoning. Good, it's so cold. I need to turn on the heater. That's so weird. Yeah. It's so weird for me to have a heater on. But, yeah, it was nice. There was no customers throwing a fit, at least that I saw, which was, again, very strange. You know, very strange. There was nice people. What? The only thing I thought was a little off. I mean, I love how I keep saying the only thing, and it's multiple things. But I mean, the phone. There was a big issue with the phone. It kept ringing, and every time you pick it up, it was just pure static. And you'd be like, hello, 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 you know. And, you know, there'd be no answer, so you'd just hang up after a while. And it was almost like constant ringing. And so I was like, maybe our connection's bad, maybe their connection's bad, and they keep, you know, trying to contact us, and it's the same person, you know. I don't know. But, yeah. You know, when my boss called later on, you know, in the day, I mentioned the phone thing to him, and he's like, you know, when Brittany picked up, she told me about the phone situation, and then she gave you the phone, and then you complained about the phone. And I'm just like, you know. But he mentioned that he was gonna put in an order for it, you know, to get it fixed. So that's cool. That's cool. You know, whatever. So all's well that ends well. It was a fun day. fun day. It's weird to say fun at work. I'm tired. I mean, like, I'm beat, but in a good way. Like, I don't regret working. I don't regret taking her shift, obviously. I honestly wasn't sure if he was going to promote me or fire me how he was talking. You know, he jokingly said, you know, I should just let you keep the keys, you know, because she wasn't showing up, and she is the one that replaced me. And, you know, I laughed at that, whatever. And then he pulled me aside. He's like, do you like your job? And I was like, yeah. He's like, do you really like your job, or are you just saying that? And I'm just like, yeah, I like my job. I'm just like, crap, he thinks I'm doing really bad. You know, he must think I don't, you know, don't try, I don't like it or something. And I was like, crap, you know, I'm getting in big trouble or something. And he was like, okay, you know, do you think I'm a good boss? And I was like, yeah. Yeah, why are you asking me questions? I was kind of like joking, you know, laughing, trying to laugh it off for him, but honestly I was kind of like freaking out. I was like, what the fuck am I being asked questions for, you know? And maybe he was, you know, thought of, you wanted to make sure I was really, you know, invested in it to be promoted. I guess. I don't know. It's just kind of a rant today. I'm trying, you know, to make more videos out there, update you on situations. And this is such a weird situation, you know, the random no call, no show. I mean, I'm sure it happens, you know, obviously, but then people usually eventually answer the phone or something, you're like, crap, you know, and they make you written up, they make you fired, whatever. You know, it does happen. And the fact that there's still no word from her, you know, and it's already the next day, is very worrisome. You know, because he even called the hospital that he knew that her daughter was going to be, you know, going in and everything else, and, you know, she wasn't there. So we're not really sure what happened to her at all. You know, we don't know. Still really confused about that. He sounded really upset. He sounded like he was torn between crying and screaming, like, you know, angry that how dare she not show up. But then he seemed like really freaked out, like, you know, she's not the type of person to do that. And I say that, you know, I believe that, but at the same time, she's only been with us like maybe a month. And, you know, she may, you know, everyone can have a good first month. but usually it's a lower employee who does no call, no show. It's not like a manager position, So I'm not sure what happened with her. My mom thinks she's dead. She's like, she probably got killed by a man or something. Men are dangerous. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Don't want to ask about your day today. She gets in her moments, but it's fine. I think maybe she found another job somewhere else that paid more. I know she didn't really like the job here, but none of us really did, to be fair. So maybe she found somewhere else that paid more or something, or, I mean, you would think you would at least call and say, hey, I'm not going to show up. But I guess the thought process is they'll figure out I'm not going to show up when I don't show up, What are they going to do? Fire me? I already quit, But I don't know. I guess it would look bad if she tried to get another job, because, it'd be listed as fire, not a quit. And, it would say that she just didn't show up. No call, no show. I don't know. Maybe they won't even look into old employee. Maybe she'll just tell them she quit, and they'll, understand that. But who knows? No idea if she'll ever return. No idea if she does return, if she will get her keys back, or if I will keep them. He did say I was a temporary key holder. But I doubt he wants to go and train someone else, Honestly, what gets me is I trained Tanya. I trained her basically how to do everything. She was a new key holder coming in. You're going to lift some of the weight off of others. We needed more people. It was going to be good. And I realized I trained my own replacement, which I'm sure happens to a lot of people. It happens, I guess. But guess she didn't last. No telling what went on with her, or what went through her mind. What was going on or anything. Just no telling. She just isn't here. Nothing you can do about that, I suppose. Honestly, right now I'm really, really, really hungry. But nothing sounds good. No fast food sounds good. Nothing I want to make sounds good. I'm just like, I just want to push a button and not be hungry. You know what I mean? I don't know why I always view eating as sort of like a hassle. Which everyone